Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Code Corner K4. K4, yeah. Episode, I think this is 7.
7 or 8? No, yeah, 7 because we had part 1 and part 2 of 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, 7.
So, episode 7. I'm joined, well, actually, I'm your host, Cody Chloris, playing Mr. Bonus, everybody's favorite mercenary. And I'm joined today by the Imperator.
Greetings. I play Cairo Zetsubo, aka the Pharaoh.
Yes. And our third companion, Mr. Oid, may or may not be joining us at some point in the immediate future. We'll have to
Never
see.
know. Never know.
Um,
He's
last
still
time,
making
yeah, still off making
combat
those
enhancement.
and making those combat stims.
Yes, indeedy.
So last time we joined our lovely mercenaries. They were involved in a training simulation on a man-made island off the coast of Ryanstown. Got caught up in some cheating. Stole some drugs from the people who were cheating. Killed a dude. Took his guns. Uh, got the reward money. Made the oh Jesus. Ah, okay. Where was I? Yes, we guys stuff did thing. Took money. Got my reward. Left with our lives barely. Um,
Drugs and guns.
yeah. And then we met with the newly arrived super celebrity, Outcast,
Yes.
as her and her little group arrived in the city, and yeah, we left off there basically.
Yes, indeedy. Alright, so it is assumably a new day.
It
Am I
is a
correct?
new day. It
So I'm
is.
gonna wake up and I'm gonna check the news feed.
All right. Well, the news. A couple of news headlines. Uh, probably the biggest one is that of course the Outcast, this super international celebrity, has arrived in Ryanstown. She you would know that she previously like lived and started out in Los Angeles, which is
Hmm.
the other biggest American super city, um, across the country and the West Coast. And she's come here for part of her tour for the first time ever because Ryanstown's not very nice of a city to be in.
Oh
Um,
no.
so yeah, so the headlines are all talking about her arrival and the dates and locations of her concerts.
Hmm.
And the second headline that comes across is that there are currently a series of protests and riots occurring at a local Jackson Industries not bank, factory and like mine on the edge of
Hmm.
the city because the workers are demanding like safer working conditions and the right to unionize. And the company did not like that idea and has decided to besiege their own factory until the workers inside basically give up the riot.
We will bombard you into submission, basically.
Yeah, yeah, basically. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, so it's a new day for Cairo Zetsubo as the city descends once again into chaos.
So I think I'm just gonna, check up on emails, check out my networks, make sure everything's running as it should be.
Yeah, yeah, everything's running tip top shape. I don't think anybody would feel the need to like target you with like a cyber attack or anything. That's not
I mean, they'd lose.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't think anybody's
I
gonna
am
really
a
really
I am a top-notch hacker, after all.
indeed.
Um, what do I want to do today? It's a good question. I feel like, uh, you know what? I think today I'm just gonna chill at my apartment, leave the news on for a little bit, wait for someone else to call me. Uh, kind of day, write some more code, wait for myself to pop up in any headlines, any possible wanted ads.
Okay. Yeah. So you just spend the day, lounging around the house, having a relaxing day after the chaos of our previous
Go
expedition.
go stand out on the balcony.
Hmm. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I look out over the city. It is a, I think, I don't know, like have like a specific height, but you're probably close to the 100th floor of this like mega block that you're
Yeah.
living in. So you're like near the smog level for the city. So
Well,
you
no,
can
I think
like,
it'd be like a little bit above it.
yeah. So you can like look out and you can see the massive plumes of black smoke billowing from the different factories and the skyscrapers and the buildings and the bustling traffic. It's like the multi-tiered, flying traffic, and then there's the ground-based traffic that the peasants use.
Poor oblivious souls. Totally unaware.
Yeah.
Completely unaware of the stress that my life inhibits.
So yeah, so you,
uh,
you spend the day lounging around, doing doing whatever, writing code, going on social media, browsing the news, uh,
giving my uh, regards to the factory and mine workers. I
hmm.
fully back the mine workers, by the way. I want to make that clear.
Alrighty. So I think as you because this is a good segue. As you go onto social media, one of the many sites that exist, and try to go to post your support for the ongoing protests. Um, I'm gonna make roll. So okay, so first I want you to roll me 1d12.
Oh, jeez. Oh, this doesn't sound good. 6.
6. That's not very good.
Oh no.
So your code, your firewall for your building, your accounts is only a D6. That's a
Oh
tier two
no.
protection.
Hmm.
So I get to roll a nice.
I don't like that.
Wow, both of you rolled so bad.
I didn't even roll that. I
So
mean, would my apartment have like beefed up security, internet security?
no, no,
No.
it's a client by client basis. Like whatever the individual person
Oh
puts on their
no.
accounts and stuff is what they
Oh
get.
no.
So you go to
Oh.
post this your Twitter rant, if you will, about their ongoing protests, and you go to hit post, and you find that when you hit post, what the text that appears is very different from what you
But I
wrote.
don't hit post, do I?
Well, think you hit post, and you see that like when you hit post, the text gets like transferred, like converted, from being this pro like worker support to being the pro company support.
I'm gonna delete that instantly.
All right, yeah, you delete the post.
As soon as I see it, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna make another post, but I'm gonna code it in ones and zeros. I'm gonna have it completely in binary.
Okay. Uh, I'll say that you can roll that with a, just a solid 1d10 versus a 1d10.
Very nice, very nice.
Ooh, if he rolls a 1, nope. So you go to write it in binary, and it gets caught by whatever algorithm is censoring your information, and it gets converted from binary to normal letters, and it's still a pro corporation message.
Delete it. Delete it.
All right, yeah, you delete the other post as well.
All right, something fishy's going on here. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna go on a different platform entirely,
All right, yeah, you do that.
and then I'm gonna make the post there.
All right, roll off. Wow, I got on a 5.
And
Ooh.
5.
So, I think this new platform, you type out another message, you just copy and paste it from the last one, and your messages just get caught by the algorithm, but only like a little bit. Like only certain keywords get picked up, so because like it turns it from a coherent message to being like half understandable gibberish. You can still kind of understand the message that was being said, just not it's not like the same message as before.
So I'm gonna post a video now.
Okay.
I got the loophole. And the video is gonna say like, I'm gonna have my mask on, of course, and it's gonna have the subtitles. Or no subtitles. But I'm gonna have my voice changer constantly changing.
Mm,
I'm gonna set my voice changer on to shuffle every 2 words,
okay.
so that uh, every 2 words it changes it to a different pitch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring down the algorithm here.
Okay. So I'll have the
Uh,
algorithm roll with a disadvantage because it's a video.
uh, and I'm going to basically give a prolific speech about how I believe that the protesters are in the right here.
Ooh.
Oh,
All right, so they got a 3, got a 10. So this video does appear to get fully past the algorithm
nice.
and remains intact. But I'm gonna
And
make a
all other
note.
posts saying that I support the company are gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna make
All
a
right.
really quick note. Where is this company? It's over here.
What company is that? Like, would the messages say like, tell me that, oh, I posted this and this is why it's changed?
No, no, they just get changed.
I feel like it's the legal mediators.
Nuremberg legal.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah,
Oh.
you don't know that it's
Oh.
Cairo does not know that it's Digital Dam, but it's Digital Dam is was censoring it.
Uh-oh. All
Yeah.
right, fine.
So yes, that video does manage to get through. You do manage to you see like the video like file kind of like jitter and like the the your like app crashes a couple times trying to upload it because the algorithm that's trying to censor it is being it's like broken and surpassed. But eventually it does get through.
Very nice. After this, I am also going to buff my system's security for after this.
Alrighty then. Feel free to. I'll say you buff it to a D10 versus their
And,
D10, their hacker.
6 and a 6.
Very nice.
Uh,
So yeah, so that after that little confusing bit of social media interaction, I think I think the day goes by easily enough. I don't think unless you're gonna try to post anything else that would get picked up by the auto censor. Uh,
no, I think that's pretty much it. Just showing my support for my local working people.
all right.
Uh, do I receive any calls? Does anybody try to like reach out to me?
I think um besides some of your like social media followers commenting on your video post and you know uh, complimenting your support for the workers despite the apparent censorship going on about the riots, um, I don't think you would get anything for this fine Saturday morning.
Very nice. Yeah, I guess you know what I'm gonna do?
Sure.
I'm gonna go over call up Bonus and see if he wants to go over and get some noodles.
Oh, okay. So you do you shoot bonus a call. I think you shoot him like a text saying like noodles question mark, and then he just responds with yes.
I'll be there in 5, but
Yeah.
it takes 30 minutes to get there.
Not with my bike. Speeds there over here.
Noodles are serious business.
They are. Well, they're real, so they're definitely serious business.
And then I guess I'm just gonna go over to the noodle shop for some nice dinner.
Alrighty. So it's like 4 or 5 in the evening, and you make it to the noodle place without without much in the way of disturbances.
No random encounters this time.
I mean, if you want a random encounter, I can give you a random encounter.
Sure, why not?
Alrighty. D100.
And a D10.
Yep.
99.
Did I roll this last time? Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What is this one? This one more applicable. Ah, okay. Yeah, I remember what this one is. So, what you didn't notice before, but like a couple buildings down from the noodle place, is a bakery. But it's not just any kind of bakery. It is specifically an edibles bakery.
Very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. They, like they. I wouldn't say that they're organic because that's like super, 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 super rare for like properly organic, anything. Um, but the bakery sells, like they advertise that they sell drug-filled cakes and cookies and brownies and stuff.
All right, so yeah, you know what? This will catch my eye. I'll go in.
Sure. So you go into this this bakery, this fine little bakery, and I think it's a relatively small establishment, and there's probably like, one. I think behind the counter is a dude, uh, with like he's like a white dude, blonde hair, dreadlocks because of course,
Yeah.
and he's got like a joint just like hanging out of his mouth as you walk in, and just like, sup, dude, what can I get you?
Just looking.
All right, yeah, man. Feel free to browse. And he just kind of like, leans against the counter lazily, eyes half closed.
Eyes half closed and bloodshot red.
Oh yeah, he has
So
no
so
underwear either, which is kind of odd.
so what is in this bakery?
Make a perception check.
All right. I've got my mask on because I'm sure that the smoke in this shop
Oh yeah,
is
it's real.
very thick.
It's real. Yeah, it's like a fog in here.
All right. What can I see?
So, so you know how like the bakeries have like the display case, all the different cakes and stuff on them.
Yeah.
It's like that, and they all have like puns for names. All like the different like drug pun names.
Yeah.
Uh, and not all of them are like weed based. Some of them are opium based. Some of them are like medicinal. Some of them are like sleep aids. Some of them are like if you eat this cannoli before bed, you'll sleep for a full 12 hours and have wacky dreams. Another one is like stuffed mushroom, but the mushrooms are hallucinogenic mushrooms instead of being normal mushrooms.
All right.
So like,
Uh,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna look at something that's like based towards sleep and like relaxation because I definitely need to take a load off.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm gonna roll percentile dice to decide how potent his sleep aids are.
Oh
73%.
my,
That's pretty good.
that's
That's
really
pretty good.
strong.
Yeah.
Uh,
So he would have like melatonin infused, cannolis. He's got like straight up just like opium pastries, like a cookie with opium in them and stuff like that.
I think I think I'm gonna go for a melatonin brownie.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So he's like, having some problem sleeping, my man, and he's kind of like, I think when he moves like he has no bones. Like he's like really like
Fluid.
yeah, like you can't tell if it's because he's like blasted out of his mind or if it's because he's just a weird guy. But like, so I'm gonna roll personality. I'm gonna see what kind of personality he has.
Oh my. Oh.
Um,
Uh, these are legal, right? Like
um,
I'm not gonna get pulled over or anything.
yeah, you get the the idea that it's all legal.
Okay, cool. Not trying to get pulled over with some melatonin brownies. Because melatonin is the worst thing you can buy.
Yes, of course. Um,
Yes, I'm having trouble relaxing at night. My night terrors are keeping me awake. I definitely am buying this for some other ulterior motive.
yeah.
Of course.
So this person, for their personality, rolled comical, open, and rarely angry.
That that fits.
It
That
fits.
fits scarily well.
It fits. So he's like, yeah, man. He's like, you having trouble sleeping?
Yeah, just a little bit. I want to make it clear that with this mask on and my cybernetic arms, I look like a robot to this man.
Yeah, yeah. So he just like, it's like, yeah, I feel that too, man. I used to have that all the time. It's back before, I opened this shop and
Back
stuff.
before Nom.
Yeah, back before Nom. You know,
Back after Nom.
yeah.
Uh, to this person, I would probably like my helmet would probably switch from like mechanical to an actual like jackal head.
Very nice.
So he would be like, I don't know if he would be weirded out by it, but like,
Probably a
I
little bit.
look I look like a jackal to him, which I think is very funny.
Yeah, so he's like, all right, well, here you go, my man. How many do you want?
Just one.
Like, all right, well, I warn you, it's only gonna take like, like half of it for if you want to get like 8 hours, and if you want to nap for like a whole day, you can take
Nap.
the whole thing.
I love it. Nap.
Nap. And he's like, and he like, puts it in like little like paper wrap, like the wax paper
The
wrapping,
yeah.
and he puts it in like a
Uh,
little plastic or a little paper bag. Actually, this guy is pretty eco friendly. Uh,
I'm assuming it'd be better if I ate food before I had this.
he's like, yeah. I mean, don't want to get indigestion and stuff because if you have an indigestion and this thing knocks you out, you won't wake up to go to the bathroom. You'll just go to the bathroom.
Ah, okay.
First hand experience, my man. It's not fun.
He gets agitated at saying it's not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Ah, message received. So eat a light meal. Gotcha.
That's what I would say. Yep. And he sends you an AR bill, and it probably would be like
$50.
yeah, like
60
50
bucks.
color. Yes, it's 50, 60
Yeah.
bucks. Not a lot.
Gladly. I'll gladly pay that. Yes, because I'm gonna sit here with this man and argue the price of pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, he's like, all right, well, you have a good day there, man. Stay loose.
You too. And then I'm just
Alright.
gonna go to the noodle shop.
Yeah, so
Oh, I should have bought something for bonus.
you can go back
Wait,
in.
can I go back in? Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
go
can
back in.
He's like, "Oh man, back so soon, huh? Has it been a day already?" Ho ho.
I just remembered. I want to get something for my.
It's like, "Ah, well, what's your friend like?"
He's very stressed,
It's like,
very
"Oh,
stressed, uptight, tense. Anything
well."
that might loosen him up.
It's like, "Yeah, well, I got a few things like that, man. I got some devil's lettuce over here," and he points to like a whole other shelf dedicated to various forms of weed edible. And then he's like, and then I got some stronger but more a little bit more addictive stuff. I'm not gonna lie, a little more than you know,
Well, I'm not
some
trying to get him
opium stuff.
hooked,
He's like, well,
but
then I would look
just
towards my personal favorites, the marijuana options. And he like flows an arm up to this building, this like whole shelf of different packaged goods.
this like ceiling high shelf.
Yeah, yeah, it's a huge shelf.
Preferably something low dose, something more on the CBD side, not THC.
And he's like, all right, yeah, I got something for that. It's like you want edible, you want like a smokable, you want like I don't know, like dip, you want like
Hmm.
I don't know, a patch, like a nicotine patch, but it's weed. Like
I think because I need to take an account of what I think Bonus likes.
you've only ever seen him eat the noodles. I'll tell you that much.
I'm gonna ask if he's got like any instant noodles that have like the little powder.
He's like, well, he's like, oh, that's a pretty good idea, my guy. He's like, hold on, and he disappears into the back room for like.
That's
he's
a
gonna,
pretty good idea.
yeah, exactly, yeah. He's gonna disappear for how long? Did he disappear for? 15 minutes, even.
15 minutes.
So he comes back and he's holding an already made cup of ramen, right? And he has like a baggie of like weed powder in it, and he like opens a little baggie and he pours it in, and he it's like his fork and stuff, and he's like he's like. And he's like, and you see his eyes, like the pupils, like widen to the maximum degree, and he's like, dude. He just like standing there with this cup of noodles and this fork in his hand, just like staring into space, wide-eyed.
uh,
And he's like, "This is, oh, dude, I like you, my man. I like you." And he puts the cup of noodles on the counter, and he's like, "Hold on, I'll get some more." And he's like moving. He's almost like he's gliding. He's like
like
floating.
his arms aren't even moving. It's just his legs.
Yeah, yeah, like because the counter's there, he just looks like he's like gliding on air. Like his whole upper torso is not moving at all when he walks. He just like flows. Like his back bends when he moves in a direction. He's like, ah. And he goes to the
Yeah.
back of the place. And he comes back out, and it has this like crushed up, like powdered like weed, like soaked in the THC oil and stuff like that. And he's like, well, it's like put this in your noodles and
Is this a low dosage?
he's like, I mean, hold on. And he goes back into the room. I'm gonna roll more percentile dice to see how
Oh
strong.
jeez.
37.
Oh.
Not almost really bad. But no, this is like good enough for a new person to the weed scene.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a new person, and my melatonin was like what, 73?
73%.
Yeah.
Well, because it's meant to knock you unconscious. This is just meant to this is meant to relax you, you know.
Yeah.
So
In a
he's like,
non-addictive way.
yeah, yeah. So he's like, all right, my man, this will be like I don't know, like 150 because it's
Specially made.
yeah, it's a custom order.
Yeah. All right. Sure. Small price to pay for my friend.
All right. So
Now he can get the dry, uncooked noodles,
yeah,
the wangs,
Mm,
make them himself, and then put this in there and relax.
yeah. So you buy that, and he's like, "All right, man, tell me how your friend likes it."
Thank you very much.
He's like, "All right," and then you see him just like chug his cup of noodles as you leave.
I think that's gonna be the next step. I think that's the next evolution.
Yeah,
Edible ramen.
edible. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it probably already is at some point. Somewhere somebody's
Honestly,
made it.
somewhere someone's thought of that.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure.
yeah. All right, time to go to this noodle shop.
All right, so you go down the road, and yeah, you see that Bonus's bike is parked out there, and you look in the window, and he's talking to the owner and stuff. And he's ordering his noodles.
I'm going with my 2 bags.
As you go with your 2 bags, and Bonus is like, it's about time you join me.
Hey, be thankful I stopped and got you a little something.
He's like, okay. And he like looks like leans over to the side of the table and sees the bag, and he's like, what did you do?
You need to get a good night's sleep and relax a little. So I got you, and I'm gonna like put up my finger in suspense and like open up the bag and pull out the little packet of ramen powder.
Hmm.
This is powder. Put this in your noodles when you get home. Eat them, and you'll fall asleep. No big deal. It's only 37% potent. It's a very non-potent, but it'll help you relax. You're a very tense person. Put it on the table for me. Don't put it in now. I don't need you driving back impaired and dying. I got myself a melatonin brownie that is much stronger than that because I need to sleep.
Uh, make a charisma check.
All right.
Oh.
Ugh, it's not good.
So Bonus is like, I think he kind of like looks at the packet, and he's like slowly takes it, and he's like, I don't know how you think that I'm stressed, but
Just trust me. All right. You'll enjoy yourself. It'll be a nice, restful period for you. You need it.
and he's like, and like you can, like, he's the mask on still, but you can feel the glare through the mask, and he just kind of like slowly pockets the little plastic bag of ramen dust.
Look, I'm sure that if you ask them, they'll give you some dry noodles.
And Bonus is like, well, yeah, I'm sure they do. We get free noodles here for life, remember?
Well, yeah, but you know I still pay.
Like, well, yeah, I leave a tip and everything still too.
Exactly. So just enjoy tonight. We've had nothing going on for the past day. Isn't that a nice refresher?
I think you see Bonus kind of like stare off into the distance, and he's like, for some people, yeah, sure.
Just take it as it is. We'll get back to all the action and everything tomorrow.
He's like, all right, and then he like kind of like waves a hand over to the granddaughter, the sister of the kid that we saved.
Yes.
And like she's like the waitress for right now. She's on duty, you know.
Yeah.
And she kind of like walks over with a little like short apron on and stuff. And she's like, welcome back, gentlemen.
How's it going? I think I'll get my usual.
She's like, of course, of course. And she's like, and you, Mr. Bonus, and he's like, He's like, you know, making think he looks to the waitress and he looks to you. And he looks like down at his pocket, at his lap, and he looks back to you, and looks like to the waitress, and then he's like turns to the waitress again, and he's like, do you have just like plain lo mein? And she's like, oh. He's like, yeah, yeah, we do. And he's like, can I have that with like a side of like chicken, like spicy chicken, like dumplings or something like that? And she's like, yeah, of course. So she goes off and puts the order in, and Bonus turns to you and he's like, happy now?
Hey, I said when you get home. Like I said, I don't need you crashing and dying.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get the lo mein to go, I think.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna enjoy mine here.
I was like, well, I'm gonna have my dumplings and stuff here too.
There you go.
So a few minutes goes by, and the food gets brought out.
I'd hope a tray of sake comes out as well.
Yeah, yeah, a nice little tray of sake and uh, some the Chinese equivalent to sake because that's like a Japanese
Yes.
thing. Um,
Yes.
and
Let me
yeah,
look
she
this
brings
up
the
really
food.
quick. I need to find out what we're drinking.
Yeah, because like it's a pretty strong alcoholic drink.
Chinese liquor. Alcoholic drinks in China. Oh my god. Types. There we go. So we would probably be drinking Huangju or yellow wine. It's a fermented alcohol beverage brewed directly from grains such as millet, rice, and wheat. It is not distilled, but typically has an alcohol content of around 15 to 20%, usually pasteurized, aged, and filtered prior to bottling. Despite its name, Huangju may be clear, beige, or reddish, as well as yellow. The Chinese form of sake, Miju, is generally considered a form of Huangju within China.
Oh, okay. So the Huang family serves Huangju.
Yeah,
Very ironic.
and it's like their big thing. Like
Yeah,
they
it's like
serve
they're
Huangju.
yeah they probably make their own. You know.
Yeah, which I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So they bring out this equivalent sake. Um, and yeah, so they bring that out.
And then I'm just gonna have my noodles and oh, I remembered. I'm gonna lean over to Bonus and like gesture for him to come closer.
Yeah, so you kind of like I think we're probably like one of the two parties in this restaurant at the moment. So
Oh
it's a
yeah,
pretty it's a pretty high class restaurant despite being like on the side of the
yeah,
road in the middle of nowhere.
yeah.
So
Uh, and I'm gonna tell him of the censorship on social medias right now.
and Bonus is like, yeah, I'm not surprised. The company as big as Jackson Industries is going to want to keep their publicity to a minimum.
Yeah, I tried making posts today supporting the rioter.
And I assume it didn't go too well then, huh?
Well, I ended up posting a video that got out there. It was definitely a pain, but it got out there nonetheless. Had to beef my own security in the process.
He's like, oh, he's like, that tell me that they're probably working with some other third-party firm, somebody to
Hmm,
mitigate the damage done by the protests.
most likely. But alas, we'll figure that out at a later date. As for right now, let's relax.
And Bonus is like, I can get behind that, and he like picks up his glass of Huangju, and he like cheers,
Cheers.
and he clinks them together. Um,
Definitely a hearty meal, leaving a collar tip.
yeah, so you leave a. So how do you pay for the full meal, or do you just like?
Well, I mean, I'd pay for the meal and then leave a tip.
Okay, so I'll just for ease's sake, that's another that thousand dollars. So you're down to 18K.
It's totally fine by me. The Huangs always deliver excellent, top-notch service.
Yeah, it is. It is very good food. I think it's very, very satisfying, very filling.
Yeah.
It's very, very tasty. And then Bonus gets his noodles to go, and like the little like packages.
Look at me and Bonus being like great friends right now.
I mean, yeah, but bonding. You did almost die the other day, so.
Yeah. All right, time to go home and enjoy half of my melatonin brownie.
All right. Make me an endurance check at disadvantage.
At disadvantage?
Yeah, yeah.
Please roll like 2 10s. Oh!
Let me see. Let me look at this. Oof. So you eat half of the brownie.
Yes.
So you eat half of the brownie, and you immediately feel like time has slowed to a crawl, and you're just like, whoa, and yeah, you pass out like almost instantly upon like your head hits the pillow, gone.
Just out.
Yeah,
Out.
out like a light switch. And meanwhile, Bonus, he's gonna do this at normal roll because his is less potent. Let's see. Okay,
What?
so he does his he still feels the effects, but he's not like vomiting and everything, but he gets. I think he like I think we see like him in his like apartment, like looking at the powder, looking at the noodles, trying to figure out how it works, like how much he should take, and like thinking like, should I Google it? Should I ask Cairo? Nah, and it's like puts the whole thing in and
Like I'm already out by that point, so he like tries like calling me like once.
yeah, his own don't pick up, and he's like, damn. He's like, I could call Mr. Oid. He's the drug maker, and he's like, nah, that'd be too weird. And he just does the whole thing and is like, whoa.
He's like, so he like sits back on his couch and like just melts into it.
Yeah, yeah. And he's
Like the TV's on, like he's got the window open and like
get the chopsticks out,
and he just like mellows out, which is what I think he needed.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
All right, next day. Next day.
Oh boy, next day, it's rent.
Rent?
Rent.
All right.
So we all pay 1,000 buckaroos.
17K.
Still a lot of money. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely up in the upper echelon of wealth right now.
Yeah. And down to 18K. And Mr. Oid is still filthy rich, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He's got 25.
Jeez.
Yeah, because he found that duffel bag full of money. Didn't spend it on anything yet.
So as the day dawns, I'm gonna like slowly wake up and shake my head loose of any fogginess.
Yeah, I think you are still feeling a little bit of the effects. You're not like high, but you're feeling a bit more relaxed than you might normally feel.
Like very loose, very limber.
Very laid back, very very flexible and feeling good.
I can take everything on today.
Yeah, you got a great night's sleep for the first time in maybe your whole life because it's so,
Yeah.
good times at El Royale right now. Meanwhile, I think you wake up and you have a text message. You wake up at later, like 10, 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
Kind of get a text message from the dealer from the regime telling you that like an address and a time to meet him to sell off the kilo of cocaine that you still have in your apartment, just chilling there.
Oh, I forgot about that. All right, time to check headlines and do my daily routine, enjoy a cup of coffee outside on the balcony.
So you see that the in the headlines, Outcast's first show encountered some problems halfway through when a riot broke out in the middle
Hmm.
of it, and an attempt was made on Outcast's life, although she did survive unscathed. And you also hear in the headlines that the protests by the factory workers have escalated from just like protests with like some minor destruction of company property to being like they've brought
Full
in
on
tanks.
riots.
Yeah, they've brought in tanks and tear gas and like armed robot drones to defend against the protesters who are now using the mining equipment and explosives to attack corporate officials.
This doesn't.
So they've escalated from protesting to full-on terrorism in one day, which you feel like you think is pretty sketch. But
Is there like a head of these riots? Is there a person at the head of them?
um, on the workers' side, yes, there
Yeah.
is a man by the name of
Drum roll.
I'm gonna roll. I'm using a nice generator. His name
Of
is
course.
Gavin Grosvenor.
That's a badass name.
That's a freaking cool dude. And he's like the foreman for the miners, and the factory workers and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's the one who's like on the news all the time doing interviews and stuff. He's the one who's like heading like organized the official like the initial strike.
Yeah.
Uh, Damn.
So he's basically the one calling the shots.
For the most part, you don't know if he's the one who demanded that they start bombing people, but he was the previous guy who was like on the news being like, we're striking for this and this, and we want this and this, and giving the terms of their demands and stuff like that.
I think you can see where this is going. I'm gonna be this like the head of a peaceful pro workers movement.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Interesting. I'm definitely gonna take that name down.
All right, Gavin Grosvenor. What a cool dude. Alrighty. Yeah, so that's in the current headline, the leader of the strike.
Hmm. Do they have any information on what happened at the concert?
The headline for the concert says that Outcast is a pretty hardline anti-corporate spokesperson. So a lot of companies want her dead because she's the like usually when she comes to town, riots start normally anyway.
Hmm.
So whether or not she's involved in this strike is unknown. Um, but she's pretty hardline pro worker.
Hmm.
So the riots are believed to have been started between like capitalists and uh, the anti-corporate, you know.
Libertarians, basically.
Yeah. The less
Okay.
extreme folks and the extreme folks got into a big fist fight, and the cops
Ah,
had to show
okay.
up and stuff. And there were also attempts made on Outcast's life by people who were far better organized than the other rioters that started the fight, the mosh pit, basically, in the crowd.
Hmm.
There was like a couple of deaths, but they were mostly accidental. So
I see. All right. Well, time to get her going.
all right. So do you go to the meeting with the?
I do indeed. I do indeed.
All right. So you head to this location, this alley, uh, not too far from the condemned, probably.
Oh, you know what I'm gonna do?
What?
I'm gonna give that little like amount that I saved.
Hmm.
and I'm gonna give it to Andrew to reproduce.
Oh, okay.
And that's normal income, baby.
Okay, yeah, sure. So you can like, pass that
Mass
to people.
produce.
Yeah. So
Corner the market.
yeah. So you stop on his apartment on the way over, and kind of knock on his door, and he answers it, and you hand him the thing and stuff, and then he just like closes it immediately. Uh, he's pretty excited to have a sample of actual legit cocaine, as opposed to the synthetic garbage that most people push.
Yeah.
So you go to the deal. Just for expediency's sake, you and Bonus go there together, and you both make 15,000 collars.
Very nice.
He buys it off of you, and he's like, if is like a probably like a pretty sketchy dude. He's like, if any of you guys ever come into actually he'd be like a New Yorker. Hey, all right. I had to get in the accent real quick. He's like, if any of you guys ever have any more product you want to hand over to the boys over here at the regime, you just give us a call, all right?
Got yourself a deal. And I'm gonna extend out my hand.
He takes it. It is like I think he has like the pinky nail. It's like super long compared to everything else because he does cocaine.
Yeah.
He shakes it and he's like, all right, and he shakes Bonus's hand, and he's like, all right, I'll see you cool cats later, huh?
Does he do like the weird like when you shake his hand, does he like put his other hand on your hand?
No, I think he does like the forearm grab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then he's like, all right, I like yous boys. You guys are good. And then he's like, all right, I'll talk to you fine gentlemen later.
This is slowly turning into a GTA 5 campaign.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so the guy like finger guns at us and like backs away down the alleyway slowly. He's like, all
And
right.
then it turns into player controlled and he's just not there.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh Perfect. Love it. All right, I'm gonna turn to bonus. Well, how'd you sleep last night?
And he's like, you can feel the smile through the through the mask, and he's like, that's a pretty good, I guess.
Ah, you too, huh?
He's like, oh, it's like, yeah, I'm sure you were out like a light. I called you and didn't pick up.
Oh yeah, I did receive a call this at like 2 a.m.
He's like, oh, it was 2 a.m. Oh Jesus, I'm sorry, I had no idea.
Yeah, you're good. All right. Well, we've got a pop star that's having attempts made on her life. We've got workers that are up in a fuss about working conditions. So, what do you say?
Bonus is like, well, if I'm being honest, and then both of us, both Bonus and Cairo, receive a text message from the captain,
Hmm.
and it
I'm gonna
just
look over at bonus and open it.
uh, so the text is the same for both of us, and it just reads, some corporate schmuck here requesting you, uh, get here as soon as possible.
So I'm gonna make sure that both of my hands of Anubis are loaded.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna check the chambers and everything.
Yeah, it's all in
And
working order.
all right, and I'm gonna have Ankh come out, make sure he's loaded up.
Yep. The training sim guys, they replaced his pistol when you left.
Yeah. All right. Well, no time to waste, huh?
And Bonus is like, yep, time to get back into it.
Of course.
And
Off to the condemned we go.
yeah, so we head over to the condemned. Out front of the condemned, there is a limousine parked out front,
Oh boy.
as per usual. And we kind of we squeeze down the alleyway and into the little like courtyard, internal pocket courtyard that the condemned sits in a really awkward position. Um, And yeah, so we walk in. The captain, he's like, yeah, it's over there. And he points to the corner booth off in the back of the room.
So before we go over to them, I'm gonna turn to Bonus. They always take the corner booth.
Bonus is like, yeah, I think they all just kind of like read the same news article about how to hire a mercenary and just kind of like follow it.
You're probably right about that. All right. Mask up. Business time.
And Bonus cracks his fleshy knuckles, and then he's like, "Alrighty then." And
And
walk
I'll go
over.
take a seat.
All right, so you walk over. The guy sitting across from you is like full Men in Black. He's got the black tinted sunglasses. He's got an earpiece running down the back of his shirt. He got the black suit, black tie. You know, like crew cut, short crew cut hair, very hard featured, like chiseled jawline. It's very stereotypical, super generic bodyguard.
Yeah. Well, good sir, how can we help you?
And he's like, well, it's like some of my associates. He would say, it's like, good morning, gentlemen.
I'm gonna turn to Bonus, some of my associates. Cause Pharaoh's learned the drill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he's like, so the corporate dude looks to you kind of like, cocked head a little bit, and he's like, yes, some clients of my associates uh, need the services of some undocumented employees.
Alright. Now I know what you're gonna say. I'm expecting it. I already know what's coming to me. We don't work a job unless we know who we're working for. Which is a total lie, but
Yeah, yeah. What's this guy's chops? Yeah. So the guy, uh, he looks over to you, and you can feel the scowl through the tinted sunglasses. And he's like, "Well, that's unfortunate." It's like my employers specialize in discreet operations.
look, you're not the first person to come to us with a job unless you can produce for us some inkling of who we're working for. I think we're done here.
The guy was like, "Well, I guess I'm sure you've both seen the news, yes?"
Yes, and I would like you to know that we're both pro-worker.
And the corporate guy, and you say that the corporate guy like leans into his earpiece, and he kind of like you can tell that he's sub vocalizing something, like communicating to somebody through his like implants. And he turns back to you and he's like, "My apologies, gentlemen. Have an excellent day." And he stands up from the booth, and he walks to the booth right next to yours, and waits for somebody else to come sit next to him.
I'm gonna stand up, uh, and slap the hands of Anubis or my one of my pistols on the table. I think you better go. I think you'll find that around here, not many people like people.
And the corporate guy, he looks up to you through his glasses, and he's like, "I assure you, I'm here to cause no trouble."
Then you might want to leave before sun gets started.
I think at this point, like the rest of the people in the bar, it's a pretty bar, pretty busy bar, because it's like
Yeah.
the main fixer bar for the area. I think as you like are like intimidating this corporate dude, everybody else in the bar gets quiet and turns to face him. You know?
Like they all like show their firearms.
Yeah, it's like in Deadpool, like the guy walks into the Merc bar, and they all like aim their guns at him and stuff.
Yeah, where they walk in and they go behind the bar and everybody draws guns as soon as they pick him up.
Yeah, yeah, it's like that. But like
Yeah,
people don't draw guns on him, but they'll just like turn to face him and like acknowledge that like they'll kill him if they wanted to. And the
yeah.
corporate guy's like, "All right." He's like, "Yeah, I can see why I'm not wanted." And he kind of sends him to the booth. And he turns to the captain and he goes, "My employees will be taking our business elsewhere." And then he saunters out of the bar, confident as if he's won.
Does the captain say, yeah, smart idea?
And I think the captain is kind of like spits on the guy's like shoes as he walks out. The guy's like, "Oh, peasants," and it's like marches out.
How
And then
did I know that the patrons of this bar would have our backs?
yeah, and then the like almost as if like nothing happened. The noise of the bar resumes immediately. And, like just
Like
walking up.
everybody flips around again and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just back to their normal conversations. Like this
Mhm.
isn't the first time this has happened.
Oh yeah, no, this is like a daily occurrence.
Yeah.
Intimidating
It's always
for people.
it's always just for us.
Well, you would know that it happens for other people too. Like you've had to do that for other people, like turn around and like face people, you know. But like usually, like not every company gets that kind of treatment. But if the company asks for a job that's like, oh, go and kill this person that we don't like, they get the stanky eye and
Yeah.
kind of like get asked to leave.
Politely.
Yeah, yeah.
That was me politely asking him to leave. I don't think you want to see what would have happened if I had to force him to leave.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I would have pulled a Cromwell.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh,
So
I'm gonna turn to Bonus, and I'm gonna tell him maybe it's a good idea that we reach out to this guy leading his people.
and I think as you say that, as if on some kind of convenient plot hook cue, uh, a another man walks through the door, and he's wearing like protective hazmat, not hazmat, but like workers overalls that are like the waterproof, like liquid resistant, heat resistant. And he's got like a hard hat in one hand. Uh, and he's
Like
wearing
the orange like safety vest.
yeah, the reflective vest, and he has not safety goggles, but like AR wraparound glasses, as of like
Yeah.
basically like people who don't have implants like you do, or people who use the mask. Like people would wear glasses if they can't afford the implants.
So he's probably like a welder or something.
Yeah, yeah. So, so he walks in. He looks very anxious. Like he's like sweating. He's like holding his like hard hat in his hand, like gripping it, like moving it around, like fiddling with it. And he looks around. The captain just looks at him and goes, "You're looking for those two," and he points to us. And the guy's like, "Thank you," and he like walks over.
I'm gonna go to the booth that the guy was just sitting in when I
Mm.
told him to leave. Have a seat.
And the guy walks over and he's like, "Thank you." And bonus is standing. He remains standing, kind of like arms folded, acting the tough guy look for the good impression, And
Cap, three of your finest.
the captain's like, "Alrighty, coming right up." And then he just like you see him like pour the drinks, and then he like turns and like leans into like the kitchen area, and he's like, "Cromwell, get your ass out here!"
Yay!
And Cromwell walks out,
Cromwell.
and he's wearing a Kiss the Crook apron.
Yes! Yes!
And he's like, "Son of a fucking gun." And he gets like the tray, and he puts the three drinks on the tray, and he walks over, and it's like your usual like whiskey on the rocks and stuff. And
So, how can we help you?
the guy, and he's like, well, as I'm sure you can tell by my not so subtle attire, I'm just a normal working man, but I represent the workers on strike fighting against Jackson Industries.
And I give you all lots of commendations. You're fighting the good fight.
He's like, yes, thank you very much. We appreciate the video you posted the other day and got through the censors. That's why I knew to come seek you out.
Of course.
And he's
I'm
like,
not one for governmental tyranny.
and he's like, that's very very good to hear. It's like so, I am I'm the spokesperson for the workers. I'm Gavin Grosvenor.
Pleasure.
And he's like, and uh, we workers would like to enlist your help in breaking the siege of our factory.
I'm gonna look up to bonus. What do you think?
Everyone's like, does it pay? And Gavin's like, no. Unfortunately, we've all been out of work for some weeks now, and the
Good, because we'll do it for free.
and he's like, oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, well, in exchange for your help, we can offer access to the mining equipment and the explosives and the manpower. You'll be in all of our gratitude.
Sounds good to me. And I'm gonna extend a hand out. I'm making a lot of deals today.
Yeah. So that the guy he like shakily takes your hand, and he's like, well, it's like I have a list of three things that we need some help with, and he kind of pulls out like a smartphone basically, and he like reads off of like the screen, and he's like the company or whoever it is that they hired to break the strike, they decided to repurpose the air pumps that were previously used to pump fresh air into the factories and the mines, and are using them to pump neurotoxins and drugs into the air system instead.
Hmm.
So we need somebody to get in there and kind of infiltrate and sabotage the air pumps.
Well, first things first. We need to send a message. Now, how good are you at organizing public gatherings?
Like, well, I managed to get that sorry group of hopeless workers together, so I guess I'm all right.
Alright. I need an address. Just a random street name.
A random street name.
Yes.
All right, let's go. Let's say street name generator. Street name generator. Street name. Street name. Street name. Uh, Innovation Boulevard.
Devastation?
No, Innovation.
Innovation Boulevard. Alright. So, you're good at communicating word by mouth. I'm good at communicating word by internet. Gather all your workers, go to Innovation Boulevard tomorrow. Actually, no. Make that today.
He's like,
Day.
well, you see, the workers that are currently on the strike, they can't leave the property. The company has surrounded the building with APCs and drones and soldiers and guards, and even though we managed to disable the security system of the building and we destroyed the internal security, the building is still under lockdown.
Either way, get who you can, gather at Innovation Boulevard.
And he's like, okay, yeah, sure. How does 7 o'clock tonight sound?
Perfect.
And he's like, okay, of course, yeah, sure. He like gets up
Alright.
and he like immediately he like stands up from the bar from the counter. He like chugs his remaining part of his drink, and he like immediately like calls somebody on his smartphone. And he's like, all right, I need you to call this guy, and he walks out talking to the whoever it is he's getting into contact with.
I'm gonna look up to bonus. Well, time to start a revolution.
And Bonus is like, this is not gonna be fun.
Oh, no, it is not, my friend.
And he's like, alrighty then, well, only live once. And he just kind of like stands there.
Does he down his whiskey?
Yeah, he finishes it.
Expect the patrons to be there too. Everybody's invited. Gonna need as many hired guns as we can.
And then the captain like lifts up a clean glass and he's like, I'll spread the word.
Thank you very much, Cap. And then I'm gonna make a very innocuous post. Doing a set tonight, or it's gonna be like a coded
Mm,
like post.
yeah.
Having a special event tonight. Gather at Innovation Boulevard at 7 p.m. on the dot.
Okay.
Do I need to roll double percentage dice to see who sees this?
Sure.
All right, so I need another D100. I forget how we did this the first time.
Just roll all three at once, and then we
Okay.
add the hundreds together.
All right.
$125. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Wait, how did we do it last time? I think we did like 3 D100?
Something
Or
like
we
that.
did
Yeah.
all D100.
Yeah. That's not
All right.
So you get 125 people, and then I'm gonna roll a 1 percentile dice to see how many people the foreman gets.
54. That's not that bad.
Yeah. It's 179 people.
So we've got 179 followers
Yeah.
for that.
So
All right.
the day
Wait,
you listen to this,
how many followers do I have?
I have a list somewhere.
Yeah, we have a number.
I believe it's like 2,000, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So it'd be like what? As the day goes on, I'm sure more people see it.
Yeah.
Should we do more die for that?
Um, do another like percentile.
Another percentile?
Yeah.
87. Nice.
Nice. All right. 87. 266 people.
266. That's not bad.
Yeah. So.
Oh wait, we gotta account for the captain.
Oh yeah. So I'll do another percentile for the Capitan. 63.
63. Nice.
Yeah, 63. So plus 63. 329 people. That's pretty.
Wow.
Sizable. That's pretty sizable.
That's a pretty, solid group.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna keep a running tally. So you'll have 2,329 followers.
Very nice.
So 7 o'clock comes around, and this group of almost 330 people is gathered with the captain and Mr. Gavin. He's there too, and Bonus and you are gathered at this street. The police are already here. The RPD have set up like barricades and like to kind of pen the group in.
That's a lot of people to try and restrict.
Yeah, I think
We've already taken over the middle of the street.
yeah. They're just kind of like blocking off from like they've blocked off the intersections. Like we can't expand beyond the road, but that whole like block or two of road is crowded.
So I'm gonna have like the captain, Bonus, and the foreman like stand with me.
All right.
And I'm gonna start, you know, heroic speeching on my little soapbox.
All right. So you start your heroic speeching. Give me a charisma check.
Can I do this at advantage?
No.
All right. It passes. Yes.
All right. Yeah, so you make your speech, and you start to get the crowd, riled up. Everybody's hyped.
All right.
And, uh,
Do we get like any interference?
um, yeah, I think probably after you finish your first initial speech, um, the trucks for Jackson Industries start showing up, like armored trucks, full of like not like super heavily armed like SWAT dudes, but like playing like not playing but like normal guards with like pistols and batons, and they kind of join the RPD guys, kind of stand next to them.
So I'm gonna segment it like, well, would you look who it is? Jackson Industries, very people that want to keep their workers down. And then I'm going to fearless leader this, and I'm going to stand right at the edge of the barricades.
Okay. Yes, you're staring down, like a couple of Jackson Industries guards and like the couple RPD like full riot troopers at this point, with the shield and everything.
I'm gonna kind of like draw the crowd around me.
Yeah. The crowd like they follow you wherever you move.
I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna keep this crowd going. I think we're gonna get a chant going.
Okay.
We're going full workers' rights.
All right. So make me another charisma check. So they get the chant going, but I think the chant works, but it works too well, and some of the crowd starts to get a bit hands on, if you will, with the
Oh,
with the cops and the present security, and things begin to quickly devolve into another riot.
hey, you know what? We outnumber these guys. All right, I'm with them all the way. I'm gonna call out and say, you know what? Let's march on that mine.
All right, so you're just gonna call for them to fight their way to the mine, the factory and stuff.
Yeah, there's 329 of us.
Okay, so how am I gonna work this mass combat?
Well, how
um,
many guards are there? Let's start with that.
okay, I think there probably would be like close to 100 guards.
For 329.
Yeah, only because like it's only been like an hour or two since the protest like fully got started.
I mean, they really can't stop us if we just push through.
Yeah. So I think you call for them to start moving down towards the factory to relieve the workers and stuff. And the cops and stuff, like at first they start like they give it they back up, they give ground a little bit, slowly, but they willingly kind of back up. And then the Jackson security guards, they get more reinforcements, as like APCs show up, helicopters show up,
I'm
robotic
not scared.
security,
I'm not scared.
and eventually like the RPD guys, they get they get called away, and they are replaced by 150, 200 Jackson Industries fully armed and ready soldiers.
We aren't scared of you. How many times do we have to tell you this, old man?
So yeah, so we're still making our way down. We're still pushing around the security guards, and I think as we make it like we're not too far from the factory. I don't think, even like just like starting out.
Yeah.
So I think we make it like probably a block or two away from the factory, and the you hear like the free fire order called over the radio, and the the security guards start opening up on the passersby, and then it becomes just like anarchy, just total chaos. Like the protesters have guns and knives and like pipes and bats and spatulas and pans and
Molotovs.
Molotovs, drones, bricks. Like some of them have like their cars they're driving through the line, to like bust holes in the defensive barricades, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They bring
We've
in
got we've
helicopters.
got we've got like mercs there too.
Yeah, yeah. Get the captain's like 60 mercs, uh, whatever. They like 50-50 mix, whatever. They are like the main bruisers, or the shock troops who came with like rifles and body armor and like grenades and
Yeah.
stuff. And it's they're like helicopters for like news people, and they're also helicopters for like the soldiers, like the military, the Jackson Industries dudes, and like they're like these huge hulking mechs that show up that are like gunning down people with like miniguns on their arms, and like it's just
This
total
entire
chaos.
time I'm live streaming this, by the way.
Yeah, so it is just full blown anarchy, just like worse than the LA riots right now. It's bad.
I'd say worse than Mississippi, Missouri,
Minneapolis is
Minneapolis. That's what it
the
is.
current riots. Yeah, I mean we're not burning random buildings to the ground, but
No, not yet.
yeah, not yet. Yeah. Um, so this giant firefight breaks out. Um, I'm gonna roll. Uh, okay, I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm gonna roll 1d10 per 100 people that are present, and this will determine the number of d100 people that die on the opposite side. Okay, that's a lot of people that die.
So wait, this is for what?
Those are for the protesters, and these are for the corporate guys. So 19 d100, or no, 91. All right, that's it. No, what am I doing? What am I doing? That's at least 10. Then, oh wow, and again. So 19 d100 here, and then 6, 15, no 6, 10, 16 d100 here. So they do still kill more people.
No, they have 19 D100.
Yeah, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
So the protesters kill 19 D100 worth people.
No, the company does, and then the porters kill like 16 or 15, whatever it was.
16, I
Jesus.
think.
Yeah, 16. Ooh, that's D6.
That's more people than we have.
Yes, yes, it is. So they do kill
That's
all of us. No,
not me.
I'm trying to think about how to work the.
Well, that's not really a fair estimate.
Yeah.
I'd say up to 3 D100
Well, I would
is a
say
fair estimate.
I'll say yeah. I'll roll one
Because
d100 per,
there are way more
and there'll be the 3 for
guards.
yeah. So the guys kill 110 protesters.
219.
And then we kill 3 d100s worth of the guards. Alright, so that's 270. So they're down to like only a handful of guards left, and we still have most of our rioting force left.
Yes. So we're making good ground now.
Yeah, yeah. So we think we've made it to the actual factory at this point, as this giant firefight is happening. Now I think I know we've reached the factory. The workers inside, and there are several hundred workers inside. combined with the several hundred besieging Jackson Industries soldiers, they all start clashing. And the workers, like they have explosives, they have mechs, like the construction mechs, the exosuits used to fight and
Yeah.
stuff. So they're like tossing people around. They have automatic nail guns that they use, and they're like spraying on
Yeah.
people. There's like Molotovs being thrown and grenades and like the plastic explosives from the workers, dynamite, TNT, you know, everything they possibly could. They have the giant borehole drill,
Oh.
and they're just like driving it through the middle of like the line of vehicles that's that the Jackson Ninja set up, and they're trying to pull away fast enough, and they're just getting like carved through and like just cut in half by this gigantic drill. It's like chewing the cars up. These giant armored vehicles and like tanks are showing up, and like they're getting blown up, and they're blowing up people, and this scuffle I think lasts for like a solid day before the company decides,
This is
okay,
not worth it.
yeah, this is not worth the cost in manpower anymore. After like probably close to like 500 people die in total.
Yeah.
Like this is a straight out massacre. The streets are like the gutters run red with blood. There's fires. Like the factory's been burned to the ground at this point. The mine shaft has been destroyed. It's been caved in. The workers like caved it in. Like this whole like city block has been just leveled, more or less. Oh, it's whole like industrial block, and there are corpses everywhere, guns everywhere, fire everywhere, broken glass and bits of debris and rubble, destroyed vehicles from both sides. The borehole drill survives, I think. Survives the conflict, and there's just some
Yeah.
drunk dude driving it around the city now. And eventually,
So
the company just decides, like, okay, this is no longer worth the
safe.
cost. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
costs us more money than it would be to just give them what they want. So they pull back. They get in their APCs and their helicopters, and they flee back to their headquarters and stuff, and leave the protesters to this. So the whole city block at this point has been blockaded by the RPD. So we now are stuck in this quarantined part of the city that is now a dead zone.
Oh joy.
Because we literally cause so much damage that it's as bad as if it were lawless, basically.
Uh, we've won. We've succeeded.
For now, yes, we have succeeded.
You know what? I'm gonna have a smart moment. uh, I'm gonna have people start going in through the sewers to make it back home.
All right. So you start to go through the sewers and stuff, and people do, and eventually like the trickle of the presence in the area has reached, you know, some people choose to remain behind because I have unfinished business still, so there's still like there's still like skirmishes with the cops and stuff on the borders of this dead zone. But it's gotten so bad. So Cody Enterprises, they have specialized vehicles that are basically walking walls.
Oh, okay.
So they've literally created like a giant dead zone security wall of thick metal plating around this city block until the riots are over to prevent it from burning the city to the ground, basically. Um,
Smart.
and so there's like little conflicts ongoing with the police who are like on these giant walls shooting down like gas grenades and killing people and stuff. But it is the chaos has died down, but so we're I think we're us the captain and I think Gavin is still alive. He got injured probably a little bit, but he's still alive.
Yeah,
And
we're like the last ones down the hole.
yeah, and I think as we're like standing above the manhole cover, there's like a dozen news helicopters circling around us and like the whole block recording everything, and the whole talk of the town is this giant riot that happened, and yeah, I think we just like look out on the lawless hellscape that we've created over the span of this whole day. This massive fight happened over.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the only ones who really upset Jackson.
yeah, really, they're the only ones that care about that. Like, no. However, that means I get to move the meter super far forward.
Wait, 2?
A bunch, because they know that we exist. They know that we're hostile.
I mean, I wouldn't say they're all the way down yet.
They're not all the way down, no, but they are probably at least like
3.
I think probably 4, because 4 is they're actively trying to like 3 is they're looking for information. 4 is they're trying to kill us.
I mean, I wouldn't say that much. They don't know who we are, though.
Alrighty, so we
Like,
have.
they don't know you or I.
Well, they know that we are responsible. But they don't know like our identities, and they know that Gavin's responsible. So he's not going to be alive for very much longer. I can tell you that much.
So when we get down to the sewers, I'm gonna tell him, like, look, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. You need to get out of here. Your people believe in you. Keep that going.
And he's like, yeah, of course. I'm gonna leave the city as soon as I can.
I'm thinking tonight.
He's like,
Jackson's gonna start coming after you now.
He's like, yeah. And then the captain's like, don't worry, buddy. I'll get you out of here just fine.
We did good work today.
That we did.
Time to go back to my small hovel, my humble abode.
Yeah, so we make our way through the sewers, easily enough, I think. I don't think like they would, like the RPD. They were paid to prevent it from spreading. Now that it's over, they're like, okay, whatever. We don't care what happens.
Yeah. They were just there to control the chaos.
Yeah. So you make it back home. You're covered in blood and alcohol and debris and soot and ash and all sorts of various forms of debris. Same with Bonus and everybody else probably.
Well, this is gonna be a nightmare to get out.
But and yeah. So do you take the other half of your brownie?
No, not yet. Because I'm gonna check news, I'm gonna check social media, I'm checking everything first. I'm probably doing it like in the shower.
Yeah, so see that so many celebrities, Outkast included, have made videos and spoken out in defense of us and of the rioters and stuff and the actions that were taken, because ultimately Jason's did shoot first.
Yeah.
So we're still
we didn't retaliate until they started it.
Yeah. So that's that's like a big deal for many of the celebrities who are defending defending our cause. And Outkast is like, everybody in the riots, if you can give me proof that you were there, you get free tickets to all of my shows for life.
So I'm just gonna like look on in approval and look at this movement we started, and just very proud moment for myself.
And I think
and everybody there.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna like do my laundry up, and then I'm gonna make like one of the anonymous type videos. Where it's like a super encrypted video. That's like, we have shown our power. Now the companies will know not to mess with the common people of the land.
Well, I think as you're kind of like watching the news and everything, you see that another group has taken credit for our success.
And what group would that be?
They call themselves the Proclaimers of the Emancipation.
What do they do?
you know them as primarily relatively small-time cyber terrorists who specialize in granting sentience and freeing clanks.
Can I reach out to these people?
You do not know how. You on the news, you see a video of a handsome, uh, pale, white guy, short black hair, uh, bright cyan eyes, wearing a crown of like barbed wire, like on around his head, and
Jesus.
he has one cybernetic hand, and he is like standing in like a room in front of like a red and blue like draped curtain, and he gives a speech saying basically like like we are the like the pregnancy emancipation. We are here to take down the status quo and rid the world of the harmful corporations. Should they refuse to yield to our demands as industries has today, basically.
Hmm. Interesting.
Uh,
I don't think that's them taking credit.
well, it's them.
I'll,
They're taking credit, but they're using it as an excuse to further protest, basically.
I'm assuming that that's going to lead to me being contacted by one of them.
You don't know. You're
I have
not
no
sure.
clue, but I've got a strong feeling about it. I'm gonna check my messages because I probably haven't been paying attention to that on the ensuing chaos.
I think you got some messages from different people, different followers. Like your like social media's been like blowing up because you live streamed that you were there and stuff, and that you were one of the main leaders of the riot and stuff. And yeah, I think the city's attitude towards certain industries has certainly turned sour.
Yes! Toppling an industry! Yes! I can tell you this much, my next call to arms is going to be very, very more radicalized.
Yes, I'm gonna knock off another day off of the week. So you take your melanin brownie, melatonin brownie, and you go to sleep. Unconscious, as you did as I did like the night before.
Yeah.
And you wake up, and there is a news headline.
Interesting.
Amadeus Jackson himself has given a speech at like the local Ryanstown Stadium,
I'll tune into it.
and it's like an hour long, hour long speech, and basically, basically, he says like he has given in to the rioters' demands, and that not just in Ryanstown, but across all Jackson facilities across the entire globe, safer working conditions and the right to unionize will be ensured. And following that speech, there are also similar posts by other corporations saying that they will follow in JI's footsteps.
Jackson Industries footsteps.
Yeah, the Codians already had those rules in place. First of all,
So they're like a good Codian Industries is like a good corporation then.
yeah, Korner Enterprises is a mostly good company. Yeah.
Like they do stuff in the shadows like everybody else, but they're a lot better about it.
Yes. Yes. Well, they're not like the Jacksons who like.
They're not they're not full scumbag.
Yeah. Yeah. They're redeemable.
Yes.
Before, like the Jacksons, for example, uh, out of character. Well, actually, no. Kara would know some of this. Kara would know that Jackson Industries workers are usually paid so little that it costs less to like pay for a replacement worker than it does to pay for safety measures.
Ah, okay.
So like
Okay.
it's imagine like the 1850s with the Chinese railroad workers carrying nitroglycerin with their bare hands in a dark
Yeah.
dingy tunnel where they're breathing in carbon dust that kills them in a year. You know, like
Yeah.
it's that like it's bad. It's really bad. And like the factories, people fall into the vats of molten metal all the time. You know, people get their hands cut off and the company won't pay for bionic replacements. Like it
Right.
was really bad. Like they had no rights. But now
Yeah.
they are being treated with some semblance of humanity.
Cool.
The punishment, because of course with every concession there is an equal punishment. Industries does not make known what that is yet, but there is one. Um, and yeah, so like other companies say like, hey, we're gonna follow in their footsteps. Many companies do already. Many of the smaller mega corporations do already have those kinds of systems. Like
Yeah.
Hermes has unions. Odin doesn't. Synthetic Chem doesn't. Life Saving doesn't because they get kickbacks anyway. Artificial Life doesn't, but they're a cult, so who cares? Spiritual Church is a cult, so who cares?
Yeah.
All
Spherical
Seeing,
Church comes out. We have a union now.
yeah, the Spiritual Church comes out and they're like, we've always preached equality. Also, buy our products, buy our holy water and stuff, and pray. They charge by the prayer.
So basically, most of these companies now have
Yeah, well,
unions and
Xenocorp
workers' rights.
Xenocorp still does not have unions. Like many of them don't have many of them have safer conditions now. The push has
Yeah.
been for
They may
that's the
not.
biggest deal.
They may not have unions, but they have safer conditions.
Yeah, 'cause that was the biggest gripe. Because when you have like a dude in an exosuit, but that has like a 50% chance of crushing him if he falls the wrong way, like
Yeah.
it's pretty bad.
It's nice to have some airbags in there.
Yeah. So a lot of corporations have been brought to light the need for conditions. Um, but I think we cut to Bonus's point of view in his apartment, and we see Bonus at a in his apartment, and he's in his bedroom, and he walks over to his like desk. He sits down and he taps a button on the desk, and this like glass computer plate screen pops up from in the desk, and he taps on it, and the screen flashes a couple times, and then it shows a big Kode Enterprises logo.
I'll be
and
back.
then,
Go get my medicine.
and then below the logo is a login like screen, username and password, and he types in his information, and the screen changes, and
Wait, one more time. The last sentence.
so basically, Bonus pulls up on his computer, and the screen has this big Kode Enterprises logo on it, and below that there is a login screen, and he types in information, and it accepts it information, and the screen changes, and basically it reveals a private forum between the corporate reps of different companies, and different correspondences between Bonus and other people, between people and other people, and all this different stuff. And the most popular one it's like flashing with like alerts is the Jackson Industries, and it's like a big bold letters across this this forum, this like message board, like news board, and it just says like workers to be replaced by cloned synthetic copies is the headline, and Bowen just kind of like looks at the headline, and he's like, well.
Wait a minute.
And then he kind of logs off of the computer, and like the screen folds back down into the desk, and he stands up, and he's like, "Well, I think we made the right choice." Yeah, and he goes, and then he sees. Then the last thing is he picks up his old smartphone, couple-year-old smartphone, and he pulls up Cairo's contact, so as Pharaoh. He pulls up Pharaoh's contact, and he texts Pharaoh saying, "Want to get more noodles?"
Sure.
And then the screen fades to black.
I will say this much. That's some sneaky stuff, because now it's making me think that Bonus is part of the KE or KI.
It's KE. It's Enterprises.
I'm starting to think he's part of the KE now.
Well, I will tell you, Bonus's bike is KE brand. His gun is KE brand. You don't know where his bionics and his mask came from because KE doesn't make their own specific brand of bionics. But like, yeah, his car and his gun is kind of Clean Enterprises. Um, yeah,
This is very suspect.
I will say that like from that cutscene, the idea is that like he didn't use a legit account. Like he basically hacked into the forum page to gain access to it.
Oh, okay.
Like he used somebody else's name and information. Like he typed in like the username, you know, how like every company has their own email, you know, sort of thing. Where he
Yeah.
didn't use like bonus@ke.com. He used like, you know, Brian Wellington. You know, like some really weird random guy's name. So the implication is that like he didn't use his own account, but he does know about the super secret corporate news forums. So that's
Okay.
kind of sketchy.
It is. It is a little bit.
Yeah. Bonus is he's a man of many secrets.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
But that will have to. I would assume that will have to wait until next time, my friend.
Yes, more info coming soon.
Well, you heard it here first. Bonus is a spy. We caused a riot. If you liked this episode and you would like to see more, please join us next time on Quest for the Core for myself and my co-host. Or, well, our luxurious host, I should say. Cody and Vincloris. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you next time on Quest for the Core.